I would like to appoint, with your acceptance, John Stigman.
I'll second that. Motion and a second to appoint John Stigman to a term expiring December 2017. Ms. Barotz?
Well, I want to point out that the current commission has 7 members, and there are 6 men and 1 woman. And I think that the council should, in the interests of creating diverse boards and commissions, consider appointing a woman. We have 1 woman apply for this position who is very knowledgeable and does not represent a particular industry, which might be a welcome change and could bring perhaps a different perspective from someone who actually works in construction or real estate or mortgage lending or engineering. So I would just ask the council to have that conversation. I understand that she was not given the opportunity to speak to the council nominators, and she's offered to come back to the podium and tell us more about her extensive experience in planning.
Okay. And I would point out that the applications, we have fairly detailed applications on each of the applicants that give quite a bit of information of their background and experience and why they would like to be appointed, and other experience that they've had with the city, how long they've been in the city, education, etc. So we do have that information. Ms. Putseva?
Would it be appropriate to ask some questions? Because I think I'd like to learn a little bit more, and since Ms. Wheeler made it here, I'd like to ask a couple questions. Would that be okay?
Yep, sure. Ms. Wheeler?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Wheeler, for coming here and joining us. Would you elaborate a little bit about, elaborate on your current job, or what you do, and also your past experience? You mentioned that you worked in a planning department, or that's my understanding, in Nevada? Correct?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Mayor and members of the council, that is my background. I am a professional planner. I've been planning director in several cities in California, and I was the director in Las Vegas for a 10-year period from 01 to 11. So that has been my education and my experience. I currently am on the faculty at NAU and teaching planning. In that capacity, I've had the opportunity to work with the staff and begin to learn a lot about the regional plan and the zoning ordinance, and I'd just be happy to put that experience to work for the city. I've also been on a planning commission several years ago in Burbank, California, so I have experience on both sides of the dais, and I simply would like to offer my experience and my enthusiasm to the city.
Well, Ms. Wheeler, I notice you call yourself a new arrival in
Yes, sir.
Flagstaff.
Yes, sir. I've been here less than a year.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Any other questions? Ms. Barotz?
I know that some would say that that's a negative, but I think you have to take these things on a case-by-case basis, and I would argue that gender diversity is extremely important, and in this day and age, to have a planning commission with 6 men and 1 woman is not necessarily the best thing, especially when we have a highly qualified applicant who, in my estimation, probably could get up to speed very quickly. So I'm going to urge the council to embrace the notion of gender equality and give Ms. Wheeler an opportunity to balance out our planning commission and bring her expertise to bear on the city.
Ms. Brewster?
I'm not going to get into the gender equality thing because it's a no-win situation no matter which direction you go on that one. But the reason I nominated John was because of his economic development background here, not just in the Flagstaff area, but also the region, and they deal with planning and zoning issues for every organization that wants to come into Flagstaff as far as where they locate. Is it feasible to locate there? Do they meet the regulations are already there? Do they have to seek out differences, or bringing it to council for a change in zoning or not. So this person is already pretty much up to speed on issues like that, and he has a really, really long background in development in other areas, particularly eastern part of the states, eastern part, Vermont area.
Okay. Any other discussion? Ms. Barotz?
Well, I just want to say that I don't know if you could, I believe that the issue of gender diversity it's not a question of a no-win, and I think that it's simply looking at a panel and saying how many women do we have and how many men, and in this case it's heavily weighted towards the men, and I think an intelligent, energetic woman with great background would be a wonderful addition to the Planning Commission.